Hey guys, Stacey Murphy here with a quick video on enjoying your garden, savoring every morsel that comes out of your garden. So if you're like me, you love coming outside and sticking your hands in the dirt and creating magic with those seeds and growing lots of plants. But the other thing I really love is taking all of the delicious produce and taking it inside and cooking. So what I want to talk to you about, so in the Northern Hemisphere, it's starting to slow down for a lot of people. It's becoming fall. For many people in the United States, all of the abundance of tomatoes and peppers and like all of those like hot weather crops are starting to slow down, and we're moving into fall. And what happens is the number of hours in the daylight, it is shrinking, and it's going to approach a very few number of hours of daylight in the peak winter, right? In the winter solstice. So even in this time of the year, as the days are getting shorter and your garden is slowing down, I want you to continue harvesting every week. So this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see beginners make, is that they don't trust that there is more coming. And so they're afraid to harvest, and then they don't enjoy everything that's in their garden. So I don't want that to be you. I've seen so many under-harvested gardens, and then what happens is it all builds up, and then they harvest it all in one fell swoop, and then they're like, what do I do with all this produce? I have way too much. Well, that's because you could have harvested a little bit along the way. So my recommendation to you, get outside at least once a week, maybe even twice a week, and harvest something, even if it's as small as harvesting the little pepper. I mean, this little guy is going to add a whole lot of spice to one of my meals, and it took me 3 seconds to go out and grab it off the vine. So whatever it is, I want you to go outside. I want you to find something to harvest this week, even if it's a weed. Yes, you can eat your weeds too. So this week I went outside and I had a lot of arugula that's ready to harvest. And this is, again, what I see a lot of beginners, the mistake that I see beginners make is that they let arugula and lettuces go too long in their garden, and they're afraid to cut it. So cut it, it's gonna come back. If you cut it a little bit above the ground where there's new growth down here and you cut here, basically you're going to have multiple rounds of that arugula and that lettuce coming back in. So go ahead, cut that lettuce, go ahead, cut some herbs, go ahead, even harvest some baby leeks. So I created this wonderful salad this week of arugula, baby leeks, dill, cilantro. I mixed that all up. I picked a lemon from my tree. I'm so lucky here. I picked some guava from the neighbor's tree. So lucky here. And had some dragon fruit too. And I made a wonderful salad. I topped it with some protein of choice. For me, that was some blackened jerk tempeh, and that was some sprinkled nuts on top and some hemp seeds on top. So whatever those toppings make sense to you. So go outside and harvest something, bring it in and get it on your plate. I don't care how big it is. I don't care how small it is. Maybe it's just fresh herbs that you're bringing in for some tea or to garnish your meal with. The goal here is to harvest something every week. And part of the process of gardening is recording that process of harvest. Now, I talk about this a lot in a lot of my videos. Create yourself a harvest log, which tells you everything that you've harvested every week of the season, so that next year, when you're creating your crop plan and you're deciding what to plant, you can look to see what you harvested, and you can try to even out those harvests so that you're not seeing like one giant spike and you're like, how do I eat all of that food? But you're seeing lots of little ebbs and flows of your crops being able to be harvested. And that way you have a constant supply of gifts from your garden that you can put on your dinner plate. All right, so that's really what I wanted to share in this video. I want you to enjoy every morsel that's coming out of your garden. And sometimes when it is just a single pepper that you go outside and you're like, oh, that's really the only thing that I can pick out there, we feel like, oh, well, that's the only thing. I can't make a meal out of this little pepper. But imagine the satisfaction, imagine the spice that this one little pepper is going to bring to one of my meals. So savor every morsel. And make sure you get it onto your dinner plate and you enjoy it. No matter how small it is, there is a way to make it the highlight of your meal, right? So that's what I wish for you. Get out there, be creative, harvest every week, and remember, fall for a lot of us in the Northern Hemisphere is a time when things are slowing down. So If your plants are growing slower than usual and this is your first year growing, that's normal. That's just because the days are getting shorter and the temperatures are getting colder. All right? So that's what I wanted to share. Get out there, enjoy all those morsels. Post below if you have exciting ways to savor even the tiniest little thing out of your garden, whatever that idea is, and get on out there and harvest. All right, take care. I'll see you on the next video.